Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Okay, let's go to the Saints then. The Saints, they finished 9-8 last year. What was your favorite move that the Saints made?
Chase Young, low risk, high reward. Always good to get a pass rusher. I like that decision. We've said it before. Pass rushers never hurt, so I always like that decision.
I had that down too. Their defense was pretty solid last year, so adding him is not going to hurt your team, right? It's only going to make it a little better. And then I also put Clint Kubiak. They signed, he's their offensive coordinator that they grabbed. He's on the Shanahan 49er tree. And so far, the Shanahan hires have been measurably successful, right? So, especially offensively. So Mike McDaniel's being one of them, even Saleh to an extent, like he's been doing pretty solid considering that he hasn't had a really good situation in New York. Like they won 7 games last year without a quarterback, basically. And then DeMeco Ryans looked good his first year. So it seems like the Shanahan tree, as it branches out, it looks like the coordinators or the coaches are solid. They're good. So I like Clint Kubiak, the hiring there.
Well, and Dennis Allen needs an offense coordinator, really good offense coordinator.
Correct.
So,
Yeah, 100%. Speaking of, what was your least favorite move?
not firing Dennis Allen
That's
and
what I.
their cap. They keep on doing that trick that people do when they're in win now, where they restructure contracts and move the cap down the road. But the issue is that at some point you got to eat it.
Mm-hmm.
And they keep doing it and they keep on doing the stuff where they're not even winning their division and they keep doing it. And I get the idea, but sometimes it doesn't hurt just to say, you know what, let's just eat everything, hope our players ball out, and then go from there.
But just like
Because
even a reset year, right? Like,
yeah, just do it. It stinks. I know it's a winnable division. I understand that, but just do it. It just ball in that grenade. That way you can get yourself out of being in such a terrible cap situation that they came in the year with like negative $81 million. Like,
yeah.
that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to get that figured out. Yeah, and I'm with you on the keeping. I put least favorite keeping or not firing Dennis Allen. Again, he's a good defensive coordinator, but like we know he can't coach both sides of the ball. He's not a solid head coach, and I think that's going to limit the ceiling on this team personally. So yeah, that's to me that's not a good move. Um, Biggest green flag for the Saints.
I mean, they do a pretty good job of keeping their own guys. I like that they still have Karama, who's a dual threat running back. They still got Olave, so I still think their team is still not bad. It's just that I just think they're very mediocre, especially with their QB situation. So that they kept their guys, I guess, is the green flag for me.
Yeah. I have a second year Derek Carr. Usually is okay. He's better than first year Derek Carr under a new system or scheme or whatever. So I have that as a green flag. Last year though, he had 25 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. So it wasn't like an awful season wise, but it seems to me like he has a reputation of having a good second year with a lot of the teams. Like every other year he has a good year, much like Josh Jacobs. So
Yeah.
good for him. Red flag for you.
It's all about the cap for me. The biggest red flag is they keep delaying it. And especially not succeeding in making a team out of it. Like they're not making a contender because even if the Saints win the division, does anyone think they're going to do anything outside of that? I actually, the Saints to me are just keep delaying the inevitable. They need to hit that reset button, and they're too scared to.
Yeah, that's a good one. I also have the weapons around Derek Carr. So Kamara is what? He's 29-ish, right? He just turned 29. Running backs that go beyond 4 years is, that's an average. So he's above that. And he's been, off and on injured. And then others outside of Chris Olave, they do not have another pass catcher that you truly trust. So you're putting a lot of pressure on Derek Carr and a lot of some of these receivers to step up and I'm concerned that their weapons will not be good enough to help Derek Carr look better, because you do need good weapons. So, Derek Carr with, you put him on, let's say, the Falcons, he looks probably a lot better than maybe him being on the Saints.
I would agree with that. That's, you have to have talent for a quarterback that can't make up for that.
Right.
So
correct. Okay. Fantasy football go-to?
I still believe in Alvin Kamara as being like a PPR back.
Mm-hmm.
He's still going to be a dual threat running back. I think he's still going to do well. So that's kind of my fantasy go-to, is that, and I know not a lot of people, they're high enough on him. So, but that's kind of my fantasy go-to for him.
Yeah. Kamara's a good flyer. He's going to get most of the carries, so that's good. I like Olave, because he's the best receiver on this team, but outside of those two guys, I don't know if you really want to go after anyone.
No,
So
and I don't have high hopes for their offense.
it could be defense. That might be a really nice defense to stream, dependent on matchup. They could be pretty good to have as a second defense or a stream defense. So okay. What's your prediction for the Saints?
6-11.
6-11. Okay, I have them 8-9. Okay. Let's go to the Carolina Panthers. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.